So right here, we have a tier list of a bunch of different business ideas. If you can just rank them from S all the way down to the bottom. So if someone has an idea and they're watching right now, you can see, is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Should I pursue it? Should I not?
All right. First one is AI implementation. That we're going to start with an S tier because it's very approachable. Anyone you don't even need any money because you can use free trials for all of these AI tools.
Cool.
Everyone knows business owners. So 10% of all adults are a business owner. So you can say, hey, I learned how to vibe code this app. I use Zapier to learn how to connect these two tools. Do you mind if I try it with you for free? That can scale. You can charge thousands of dollars up front and then hundreds of dollars up ongoing every month for each and every customer you acquire.
Cool.
So it just becomes a numbers game. That is one of my favorite ideas right now. ATMs, second. I'm going to put that as a B tier. So I love ideas that are approachable because I want to remove friction to the most amount of people to starting the business. ATMs you have to purchase. There's not really a way around that. You could buy them on a credit card, you could borrow money to do it, but they do cost thousands of dollars. I think the trends for us becoming a more cashless society are going up. I think it's going to take a lot longer than we think. I think we're going to be giving out $100 bills in a decade, right? I don't think it's going away overnight. But generally speaking, I like to start businesses that ride a tidal wave. I just want to have an easier time. AI implementation, that is a tidal wave. We would all agree. ATMs are not riding a tidal wave right now. This business is highly dependent on the location. I'm actually going to move it down to a C.
Okay.
Don't mind. It's highly dependent on a location. So if we want to learn what type of location will do best with an ATM, we're probably going to need to try like 5 locations, which would require either a lot of time to move that ATM around or a lot of money to buy 5 $3,000 ATMs. But that said, if you can get this to scale, that can be a quite passive income business,
cool.
Right? Which, I don't just throw that term around. Car detailing, that's going to be A tier because it's so approachable. It can scale. It's not easy to scale. I hate the question, can it scale, right? I hear that a lot, but can that scale? Everything can scale. The right question is, how hard is that to scale, right? And how much money will it take to scale it? This is harder to scale, but it's very easy to start. You could go to O'Reilly, you could buy a bucket of stuff, you could start car detailing. You could make $100 an hour on your first day. Next one, content creation. That's going to be D. It's going to be D tier. There is survivorship bias, right? The only people we see in our feed are successful content creators because that's who the algorithm shows us. So it seems much more approachable than it actually is. Now, I truly believe that you can crack the algorithm. You can figure out how to do short form video. I think short form video is one of the greatest, most innovative things ever invented. You could definitely argue it's harmful. I'm not saying it's not, but it's just brilliant how it works, right? But it is very, very hard to crack the code as a content creator because you need quality and consistency over a long period of time, and very few people are willing to do that. And once you do that, the chance of you actually making money on that is very small. So that's a D. Couch flipping, I'm going to call that, oh man, I really like couch flipping. So what I don't like about it is there is some level of friction here because you need a trailer, either to buy one or rent one, and you need a hitch. You need a car with a hitch or a truck with a hitch. So there's some friction there, but this is a business that could be 100% ran on Facebook Marketplace. You find your couches to buy on Facebook Marketplace, you find them to sell on Facebook Marketplace, and it's a very good business and it can scale. Day trading, oh man, that's got to be F. I mean, back to survivorship bias. The only people we see out in public that are successful at day trading are the people selling courses on day trading. And therefore, their incentives are not aligned with the buyer of that course, right? The chance of someone being successful in day trading is very low, and the chance of them losing money is very, very high. It's an asymmetric bet in the wrong direction. Dog walking. I'm going to say C tier because it's harder to acquire customers in the dog walking business. I like that it's recurring, but it's hard to acquire customers, and it might be one of the hardest to scale out of all of these. Yeah, because how many dogs can you walk at once? And then how profitable can you be if you hire someone out to walk those dogs for you? I like to look for businesses that have a binary outcome. simple business, right? Like my tree trimming business is very simple. We show up, we cut the tree, we get a 5-star review, we get paid. Whereas a house cleaning business, you show up, are they home? Does the door code work? Did they leave a hair on the toilet seat? There's 1,000 things that could go wrong. The cleaner doesn't show up. The cleaner arrives drunk. Like it's just a very hard business. And I've had a cleaning business as well.
And they've arrived drunk?
Oh yeah. Because they're all
Really?
Subcontractors.
Oh.
They're 1099s.
Wow.
So like, I've seen it all. So dog walking is not my favorite because there's a lot of things that could go wrong. Yeah. And it's just, the upside is not very high.
Okay.
DoorDash, Uber Eats, I'm going to call that a B. I'll be our first B tier. I love how approachable it is, but it's a lot more wear and tear on the vehicle than people would think. People, certainly more than they would like to think. It's a low ceiling, right? It's hard to make 6 figures a year of profit, like true profit when considering all of your costs in DoorDash or Uber Eats. I think the bigger opportunity in that business is to buy and rent out cars to people that drive and deliver food.
Turo?
Kind of, but there's a whole business. The whole industry is called Cars for DoorDash. Like that's the name of the industry.
Really?
Because DoorDash is the only ride sharing company that does not care what the cars look like. They don't need to care. You're just delivering food. You're not taking anyone on rides. So their liability requirements are lower, and the car like year and cosmetic requirements are lower. So there's a whole industry of people that go buy $5,000 Hondas and rent them out for $400 a week to people that drive for DoorDash. And so they make their money back in 3 to 6 months, and it's pure profit after that. Not saying it's easy.
Yeah.
There's liabilities. You're working with people that speak different languages. There's a lot of crazy things that happen in that industry, but I like that side of it better than me going out and delivering food for DoorDash.
Interesting.
Yeah. Facebook Marketplace. I'm going to put this as S tier, believe it or not, because that could be so many different things. I love just clearing my cache in a browser, opening Facebook Marketplace and seeing what it shows me.
That's what I like doing too.
Best,
I probably
right?
spend an hour a day on Facebook Marketplace just browsing and looking.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
You'll see like a converted school bus. Like it's just a great playground to generate business ideas.
Yeah.
Garage sales, I'm going to put at... Now, do you mean like flipping items from garage
Gary
sales?
V garage sale hunting.
I'm going to put that at C because it's just like, I don't like businesses that I can't just like grab a hold of and scale it if I wanted to. There are only so many garage sales. You don't know what they will have. Whereas with like Facebook Marketplace, I could buy as many things as I wanted. I could scale that with just a few more clicks and a few more dollars. But with garage sales, it's wholly dependent on, there's a lot of luck involved. Am I going to find like a first edition Charizard here? Or is it going to be just a bunch of crappy mirrors and dressers? I just don't like that about it. It's harder to scale and there's less upside, but I do like the fact that anyone could go do it with $100. I do like how approachable it is. I kind of want to I'm going to move it to B. I'm talking myself into it a little bit. I do love Gary V too. So online tutoring, I'm going to put that at an A tier because there are so many marketplaces that will find customers for you. Upwork, you can just post your services and tutor people, and you can make $30 to $300 an hour. It's also great for a local area. If you can just find one parent to, so this isn't online, but let's just call it tutoring. If you can find one parent to pay you to tutor their kid, you don't totally screw it up, you'll probably have 10 parents within a year. So I really like that business because it doesn't cost anything. And I think there's a lot of demand for that that's not going anywhere. OnlyFans, that's going to be an easy F from me because of the fact that I am a very Christian and I think is pretty damaging and pretty terrible. And I personally would not start anything in like an illicit category, be it gambling, vaping, anything. Panhandling. Okay, so you know what? This might surprise people, but I'm going to put that at a B. Now, let me clarify. Is that just like begging for money?
Yes.
Yes.
I've seen these YouTube videos where people are reportedly making $60,000 to $100,000 a year, and they're adding up with hidden cameras like how much they're making in donations, and then they confront the people afterwards of like, hey, you know, you've made X amount this year so far, but you're not reporting any of it, and you're driving
into a Ferrari.
Yeah,
interesting.
living in a really nice house and like all this sort of stuff, but they like dress down to panhandle.
Yeah, I saw the one where the person was panhandling as someone who is in a wheelchair bound or something, and then they like got out and just walked away.
Okay, so if it weren't for the ethical concerns, this would be an S or an A for me because of the skills that it can build. Because we've talked a lot about humility today and doing hard things and getting rejected over and over. And that sounds a lot like serving a mission, right? I never asked for money, but I was asking for time, which is like money, of strangers. And it's very awkward. It's just awkward. And so I love the skills that this builds, but I don't suggest that people do it unethically or lie about who they are. But if it's like, hey, can you give me $10 so I can go start a business? I would give that person $10, and I applaud that.
Don't do that, Graham.
Print on demand, I'm going to put it C. I think that there's a world where people can make really good money at this, but I look at it like content creation. There's a lot of luck involved, and you need to be fairly sophisticated at testing thousands, if not tens of thousands of patterns and designs and logos. I know a guy that does this very well on Etsy, and he uses AI tools to every morning he'll scrape everything that's selling a lot of on Etsy. Let's say it's a mug with like a cute slogan on it about a puppy. He would just copy that, and he would just start selling them on his own Etsy page. So there's a world where you can be successful at this, but I think it's kind of like the MLM world where 1% of people are successful and 99% of people are still just like struggling, trying to make it. So I don't like that about it. Real estate agent, I'm going to put that at an A tier because of the fact that you will acquire so many different skills in the pursuit of this. You have, like, legally, you have to learn about real estate. You've got to learn how contracts are structured. My wife is a commercial real estate agent. She used to be a residential real estate agent. I've been in this space a lot. I think it's an asymmetric bet. You're spending tens of hours and $1,500 to become licensed. Once you're licensed, there's tons of brokerages that would love to have you under them because it really costs them nothing. And depending on what market you're in, you can make tens of thousands of dollars for 5 to 15 hours of work. This also is like a power law game. 5% of agents sell 95% of homes, but I think it's very formulaic to get in that 5%.
Yep.
It's you can get there. Whereas with something like print on demand, it's not formulaic. There's a lot of luck and virality and sophisticated skills involved. But that can scale. Like, it's great money. It's a great thing that you can do on the side, but you could also make it entirely replace your income. Shorts editing.
It's no secret that short-form content is here to stay, but manually clipping and editing takes hours that you could be using to focus on other parts of your business.
That is why we're so excited to partner with 𝗪𝗧𝗡𝗧. 𝗪𝗧𝗡𝗧 is the ultimate solution to growing your audience fast with short-form content.
𝗪𝗧𝗡𝗧 finds the best moments from your video and instantly generates multiple clips that are ready for social media. Seriously, guys, it has never been this easy to consistently post short-form content.
And 𝗪𝗧𝗡𝗧 could write captions to save you even more time. It automatically reframes and optimizes your videos, making them ready for any platform.
And now that they have a mobile app, you can clip literally anywhere at any time.
Seriously, guys, 𝗪𝗧𝗡𝗧 has helped us out tremendously for clipping up our content for the Iced Coffee Hour and bringing us a lot more traction to the videos.
If you're ready to streamline your business, 𝗪𝗧𝗡𝗧 is absolutely perfect for you. Check out 𝗪𝗧𝗡𝗧 at opus.pro/ICH. That is opus.pro/ICH.
Thank you again to 𝗪𝗧𝗡𝗧 for sponsoring our show. And now let's get back to the episode.
Shorts editing. I like this a lot, actually. I'm going to make that an A tier because there's a lot of AI tools that will edit shorts for you. We probably know about a lot of them where you just upload a long form video.
Opus clips.
Opus, yes. And I've used Opus.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, it is great. But with a lot of things in AI, it's not going to be better than a human for years, in my opinion. And because of the fact that short form algorithms are so good, I think there's a lot of demand for good shorts editors. And if you're in a more developed country and you don't want to learn these skills yourself, you can go to Upwork. You can find people in the Philippines or anywhere overseas that will do them very cheaply, and you can just subcontract out the work.
Yeah.
So you could be a shorts editor without actually having the skills. So I really like that business. Solar sales. I'm going to put that as A because it's sales and it's door to door and it's hard and it's high ticket, and you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars in 3 months of knocking doors, and you'll learn resilience, you'll learn rejection, you'll learn sales. I think it's an excellent business.
Cool.
That's not going anywhere. I'm so glad I didn't read these ahead of time. Somali daycare fraud.
Remove the word fraud.
So you know what? Remove the word fraud.
Daycare.
And
in Minnesota specifically.
Call it daycare, and I'm going to put it as a C.
Okay.
Because of the fact that you could grow virally, organically, just by like the pendulum, right? Right now, the pendulum right here is every daycare in Minnesota is a fraud, and going the opposite direction and having like all kinds of proof that you're not a fraud. You do like profiles on the kids, and you show like the watercolors on the websites. Like there are so many viral opportunities to grow that business where you would have so much more demand than you could ever take care of. Therefore, you could charge much more than any other competitor. So,
and you get money from the government, which is great.
I guess you could, couldn't you? Like, would the government be willing to pay money to someone who's legitimate, though? That's the question.
No, I don't know. There's other ancillary businesses you could run off that too, like transportation.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So I'm going to make that a B, actually.
Yes.
If you remove the word fraud, okay? We're not talking about fraud here, but there's a very, very short window of time where you could make a lot of money being a legitimate daycare in Minnesota right now. And you don't, maybe you even just have a lead gen service for daycares. Yeah. We're vetted daycares, right? You go out, you knock on their doors, and you do what Nick did, and you find out like independently verified daycares, and then you just become a lead gen service.
That would be a great short. Having someone go up to the daycare and be like, yeah, come on in.
Surely you've heard about.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that a lot. Uber Lyft. So I just got to put that in the same tier as DoorDash and Uber Eats, because I see. I think you could make. I'll go one up, because I do think you could scale that a little better. Maybe the cars for DoorDash idea is kind of more in that category, where you could just have a fleet service, and you could just have a fleet of cars, or like I would even put Turo in there. I think you can be successful in Turo if you have a very unique offering, but if you have like a Camry, it's very, very hard. Vending machines. So I'm going to put this as a B, because it's above ATMs, because you can buy vending machines cheaper than ATMs in a lot of cases. And it's easier to find a place to put a vending machine than it is to find a place to put an ATM. I think there's more demand for Doritos and Gatorades than for getting cash on the spot. I just like a little more than ATMs because it's more approachable. You don't have the liability of large sums of money of cash, but it's like, it's a power law game. If you place 20 machines, 15 of them will make $100 or $200 a month, and 5 will make $800 to $1,200 a month. It's just a hard time finding where to put those 5. Window washing. I'm going to put this as an A, because like solar sales, it teaches you great skills. You can be in business for $20 and you learn people skills, you learn rejection, and you can make 6 figures a year doing it.